Hi everyone, welcome to Greeklish Outdoors. In the past you've seen me review the Silky Gomboy and the Silky Pocketboy. Today it's time for the big boy, so stick around. So I've wanted one of these saws for quite a while, and the only reason I haven't bought one up until recently is because I couldn't afford it. Now the prices actually have come down a little bit, and I have that little bit extra cash to spare to purchase this. And to be honest, so far it has more than been worth it. I've used it really heavily over the past couple of months, cutting down branches, cutting up logs, and it has never let me down. It is so much easier cutting through larger branches and pieces of wood than the Gomboy and the Pocketboy. Obviously that larger blade really helps. So some facts and figures. This is the Big Boy 2000 360-6.5 variant. It weighs 440 grams. The dimensions when folded are 405 by 110 by 25 millimeters. And the total length of this saw when it's unfolded is 760 by 90 by 20 millimeters. As the name would suggest, the blade length is 360 millimeters. There are 6.5 teeth per 30 millimeters. These saws are made in Japan, and the blade is premium Japanese steel. As of the day of filming, this big boy saw costs 86 euros on the Silky website. I actually got mine for 79 euros. You can buy this in 3 other teeth configurations. This is technically classed as the extra large. There is a large with 7 teeth per 30 mils, a medium with 10 teeth per 30 mils, and a fine with 13 teeth per 30 mils. If you do happen to damage the blade, you can buy a replacement for 48 euros, which does save you buying an entire new saw. You can see here the size difference when they're folded between the Pocketboy, Gomboy and Big Boy. The Pocketboy and Gomboy obviously came with a case. The Big Boy that I got did not. Here you can see them out of their cases. Let's open them up and you can see them side by side when they are unfolded. You can see the Big Boy is far bigger than either of them. When you compare the blade size of the Pocketboy and Gomboy, there is just a slight increase. When you compare it to the Big Boy, there's not a small step up in size. You can see it is quite a bit longer. That's the facts and figures. Let's put this saw to work, and I'll show you what I have found out over the last couple of months when testing this. So that's the end of the testing of this saw, and I think it performed really, really well against greenwood, drywood and pallet wood. I've also used this to cut down some small trees, and again it performed really, really well. It makes life a lot easier when cutting through larger branches, logs and trees. I've been really pushing this saw since I've had it, sawing up loads and loads of wood. In fact, I've actually sawn up all the wood there, and that has been quite a lot of effort, but without this it would have been a lot harder. Like with all silky saws, this saw only cuts on the pull, not on the push. You have to be a little bit careful on thicker logs, as sometimes you do get a little bit caught and the saw suddenly jolts, and if you're not careful you can flex the saw, and that can lead to bends or breaks in the blade. I've heard from Silky users in the past that in the heat of the moment they forget when they're trying really hard cutting wood, and when they push they give it a bit too much effort, and that can also cause the saw to flex and in some case break. But that's the case with any saw, so this is not a fault of Silky. It's just to remind you to be careful when you're sawing woods with quite a thin blade. The quality feels really, really good. This rubberized handle is quite sticky and I've never had it slip out of my hands. Of course, I do use leather work gloves when I'm using it for safety and for that added little bit of extra grip, but I've never had a problem with it slipping at all. The mechanism to open it is very, very easy. One thing I can say is if you are quite heavy with your use of this, then over a period of time, that little screw there you can see will come slightly loose. All it takes is a screwdriver to tighten that up and you're back in business. But something to be mindful of, because if you do actually loosen it too much, the blade could come off. So that was the Silky Bigboy. From all the testing I've done, I think it's a fantastic saw. It's really hard wearing, it's really sharp, it does the job. That feature of only cutting on the pull might not be for everybody, but for me it seems to work pretty well. I found it cuts through logs, trees, branches, everything very, very well. Much easier to do than my smaller Silky saws, and I'm really happy with it. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this saw in the comment section below. Like me, have you wanted this for a long time and perhaps purchased it recently? Let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching, take care, much love, see you next time.